In this video, you will learn the most powerful programming concept that you will ever learn. And that programming concept is if. If lets us decide between different options. Two roads diverged in a wood, and I took the one less traveled by, and that has made all the difference. In order to decide what road we want to take, we need to use if. So let's get right to it. I have my program right here. I'm going to close these windows, I'm going to delete this text, and I'm going to write an if statement. If. All lowercase, and then a space, and now I need to write something after that if statement that's true or false. Now, for starters, I'll actually just write true. The word true. This is a keyword in Python that you can use. You will almost never write an if statement like this. So I use a capital T, and then after that, I'm going to print true is true. Well, what's going to happen when I run this? What's going to happen is I'm going to print out true is true. So we went to the if, the program went to the if, it checked, is this value right here true? And it's found, well, it's literally the word true. So yes, it is true, we're going to print true here. But what if I change it to false? What happens now? So I run my program, nothing. Nothing got printed out right here. All right, now this is kind of a boring program. We're never actually going to do this. So let's look at input. We can get some input from the user. So let's ask our user, are you having a good day? And then instead of just a true or false right here, we're going to say if their response is equal to yes. All right, now there's a lot of things I just did. I used the variable where I captured the user's response. I used two equal signs to see if the value in this variable is the same as this other value over here, particularly the string yes. So two equal signs is comparison. Are these two things the same? Single equal sign is saying this variable gets the value that's over on the right side. All right, so for if, we want to use these double equals. We want to say, is response the same as yes? Is that a true statement? Also, you'll notice that I used a colon, not a semicolon, but a full colon right here. This is also essential. If I don't have this, I get that red underline, I've got some kind of problem with my code. So I'll put that back. The other thing, which hopefully you noticed, is that I indented my code here. If you press tab once, you will get 4 spaces in Pyscripter. You could also hit the space bar 4 times, but why would you do that when you could just hit tab once? All right, so instead of true is true, if they said yes, they're having a good day, you can say great. So let's run that. Are you having a good day? I'm going to say yes. Prints out great. What if I'm not having a good day? Let's run it and see what happens. Right, are you having a good day? No. It printed out the are you having a good day and my no, but it did not print out great. We had an option for what we would do in our program. This is such a powerful concept. Finally, we have programs that can make decisions. They can evaluate the information they have, the variables that they have, and they can respond differently depending on what information they have, the value of their variables. So let's look at some other examples. So let's look at a numeric example. We could say x equals, I don't know, I'm not feeling very inventive. Let's go with 7, x equals 7. If x is greater than 5, we'll print, I'll just change our great to a greater. It's greater than 5. All right, let's run this. Prints out greater. All right, because the value of x is greater than the value of 5, because this is a true statement, we end up printing out greater. This is a good time to introduce the debugger. So let's look at that. We've got all these buttons along the top here. If you see this button right here, it's sort of a blue down arrow with a dot below it. If I click that, what happens is I enter debugger mode. And the Python starts running my program, but it runs it one line at a time. So I'm right here in my code, and nothing is happening yet. And I have some new blue buttons that I can use. And if you hover over them, it'll say what they are. So run to cursor, step into subroutine, step over next function, step out of the current subroutine. Don't worry about all of those right now, but we're going to focus on step over next function call. So it's kind of a swooping down arrow. So I'm going to click that, and it's going to run to the next line of my code right here. All right, now this line of code is going to run. It's going to check to see if 7 is greater than 5. I'm going to hit that same button again, that swooping arrow. And now we see it runs to this line of code here, where it's going to print greater. Now it hasn't run this line yet. It's about to run this line. And if I press it again, there we see the text appear at the bottom. And now we're done, because we ran our whole program. Now what's useful about this is when we have different options for the code that can run. So for example, what if I added else? So else is the thing that happens if the if does not happen. So let's see, print less. Oh, I need some quotes on that. All right. Now, obviously, this is going to print greater. Actually, let's put a print down here just for show. We'll just print done down here. All right. Now, suppose I make x 1, and I'm going to rerun this program in debugger mode. Right. Actually, I'll rerun it through once just to show you. Okay, so I run it, it prints less, and then it prints done. As we expected, that's fine and good, but I want to show you this debugger. Okay, so remember the down blue arrow starts the debugger, goes to my first line of code, it skips any blank lines, and I'm going to press this one to step over. Okay, I'm going to go right here. I'm going to check, is 1 greater than 5? No, that is a false statement. Where do you think we're going to go next? Well, let's see. All right. I did not go here. I skipped this code because x is not less than 5. So only do this if this statement is true right here. And you might have think the else got skipped as well, but the else, like, nothing really needs to happen here. This is the thing that happens if this does not happen. So we jump right to that code because this is false. We're going to do this instead. And now I'm about to print less. So I click that. I printed less. Now I'm on to my last line of code. You'll notice this is not indented. If I had indented it, it would only print if this statement was false. Right? So if I'd put my done actually after the greater, then it would not have printed. But since it's not indented, it's going to print regardless once I'm done with the if and the else. Okay, so I finish up, prints done. Great. I can put more than one line of code inside these ifs and elses. I can change the value of x if I want to. X equals x plus 10. We're going to make it bigger. It's too small. We don't like when x is less than 5, apparently. So we're going to make x larger. And then down here, we can go ahead and print the new value of x if we want to. I'm just going to run this program regularly. All right, print less, and then 11. 11 is the new value of x. It started off at 1. We increased it by 10. Printed its value, it's 11, and then we printed done. So hopefully this gives you a brief introduction of things you can do with if as well as else.